Commissars Log, Day 4. I must apologise for the previous transmission. It seems it was interrupted by something. I don't know what though. I've dropped it off with the tech adepts to see if they can figure it out. But who knows when that will be. Anyway, back to the log. Yes, Day 4. Went well. Everything seems to be shaping up quite nicely. People are keeping to the new timekeeping and settling in quite nicely. Can't complain. No quibbles before breakfast. It all went fine. And then we had to go through all the same procedures that we went through yesterday. Make sure they're all firmly concreted into our minds. Yeah. It's tedious. And then after that it was lunch. Lunch was lovely, as expected. And then after that, I had to go through some more procedures. Well, I say procedures. This time it was learning the procedures of what we have to do in a formal situation. Formal for the rogue trader. He's a bit of a stickler for details and those sort of things, apparently. And if you don't follow all the correct rules and regulations and, ask how high when he says to jump and stuff like that, then apparently this punishment can be quite severe. I wonder what the kind of punishments would be. Nothing worse than what those guys have already been through. But, mustn't upset the rogue trader. He is our boss after all. When the day was over, and we'd had our dinner and stuff like that, I went out to go find the Senchao. And I have to admit, he is a fairly elusive gentleman when he wants to be. I kept on going to the places where he was supposed to be, and when I got there, he wasn't there, and I was told that he had to go somewhere else. And when I got there, I said, no, he's not here either, you have to go to this place, over there. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But I did eventually find him. And he didn't seem too pleased to see me, to be honest with you. Not that I cared. I'd find his predicament quite amusing, to be honest with you. Without being asked, I sat down at the desk in front of him. He asked me what was wrong. I laughed at him. I mean, did you not get my message from yesterday? I asked him. And he just looked at me blankly. Apparently not. So I explained the encounter to him from last night. And when I'd finished, he gave me his response, which, long story short, was basically that the rogue trader has absolutely no issues with mutants on board his ship. In actual fact, he finds use for them. As long as if they're supposed to be there, though. If there's anybody on board the ship who isn't supposed to be there, whether they be mutant or not, the problem needs to be sorted as soon as possible. Which I was obviously happy to oblige to. After that, I left. I now had some tasks that seemed, well, to me, more important than anything else that we had going on at the moment. First of all, I went down to the tech lab to see if I can find an adept to pass the cogiter with with yesterday's recording on it too. They took it from me. They said they'll have a look at it and they will get back to me as soon as they can. As soon as they can could mean any time. No idea. Days, weeks, months, years. I did try to instill on him a sense of urgency about the situation, It could be a breach of security. But they didn't seem to care. Bloody tech adepts. After I'd left, I headed back to the spot where I'd lost the strange little mutant last night. I thought I'd have a closer look down the corridor. I couldn't see anything. I looked again, checked closer, still couldn't see anything at all down there. It was very dimly lit. There was no doors, no junctions coming onto the corridor, at least not for 100 metres or so. There is no way it could have gotten all the way down there in that amount of time last night. No way. I took some time studying the walls on either side of the corridor, about 25 metres up, and there was nothing. There was no vent covers, no access panels. It was almost seamless the whole way along. Next I checked the floor to see if there's any loose floor plates or any grates that were able to come up, and still nothing. And then I looked up. Surely not. The ceiling was a good 4 metres up, at least. There's no way the creature could make that. But I had to check. Luckily enough, I always carry around with me a length of rope and a grappling hook, because you never know when you're going to need it. And this was one of those moments. So I tossed it up into the dark depths of the ceiling. It latched onto something. I tested its weight and began to climb. When I got to the top, I was surprised. There was dirt and feces everywhere, which is, considering how spotlessly clean everywhere else is, it was a bit of a shock to me. But there was a definite trail of something that would be left by a small two-legged creature who was dragging his knuckles along the floor. So I finished climbing up, and there was just enough room for me to stand up, as long as if I was hunched right over. I followed the trail, hoping I was going in the right direction. The trail went on for a very long time. I was walking for maybe 20-25 minutes, and then I heard a weird scuffling noise ahead of me. And there it was, the creature, dead ahead of me. I'd found it. I drew my pistol, and in excitement I rushed forwards. I wanted to just shoot it in the leg or something, try and stop it from running away. Didn't want to kill it just in case it actually was a part of the crew. And it was a good shot. I hit it. It was great. But it didn't have the desired effect. The thing just screeched at me and turned and fled away, which was impressive considering it had a hole in its leg. I tried to make chase, but very quickly lost it due to my inability to keep up with it in the small, cramped environments. Once I realised the chase was fruitless, I made my way back down to the floor below and started heading back towards my quarters. I wasn't too disheartened though. I now knew how the thing was moving around out of sight of everyone. Tomorrow I will return and see if I can catch the damn thing. Maybe I'll bring some of the cadets with me from last time. They'll be able to help out. With a smile on my face, I upped my pace. When I got there, the smile dropped. Waiting outside my quarters was a figure dressed all in black. She was wearing a black and white mask, one that was very, very similar to those worn by the Vindicare assassins. She was sporting this huge sniper rifle that was longer than she was tall, and she had a pair of swords sitting on her hips. As I approached, she stood up and stopped me. She leant very, very close to me and whispered something to me. She said that if I ever scare her target again, or stop her from taking her shot, she will find a new target, and that target will be me. Just because she saved my ass before does not mean that she would hesitate to shoot me. I think I got the message. With that, she pushed past me and disappeared into the darkness. She was the one who saved us from the incursion. What was she doing here? our overall mission with the rogue trader has all of a sudden become a lot more interesting. We shall have to see what tomorrow brings, I suppose. This is Commissar Turch, signing off. For the Emperor.